Dan Meyer here from Sonic Analytics, and I'm going to talk to you today about how to get your business more data orientated. And what we want to be able to do today is kind of explain to you at a high level the different parts of what is analytics, so that you can start thinking about the data in your business and how you want to go about trying to make sure that you have all the data you need, you can access it, and you can do things with it that will add value, make you more profitable, make you more optimized, allow you to really make better decision making. So to do that, we're going to do a couple things. I'm going to talk to you briefly about kind of like some key concepts. We're going to cover 5 quick things about analytics. The first is you have to understand what is big data. Then once you understand that, then you got to understand that there's actually 5 components of big data. Then when you look at the big data, you're actually putting it through a process. Analytics is a 6-part process. And as you go through that process, you're also going to start thinking about the different types of analytics. There are actually 4 types of analytics that I'm going to explain to you real quick. And then once you have all that kind of in the back of your mind and you have an idea of what you're trying to do with your data, then you have to make sure you have the 3 I's and the 3 T's in place. So getting started with analytics can sound pretty complicated because there's a lot of pieces to it. But once you have all this set up, once you're able to actually push lots of data, big data, through your analytics process in your business, you're going to be able to extract a lot more valuable insights. It's going to make you more profitable. It's going to give you the ability to make decisions faster and make the right decision at the right time. So real quick, we'll start with big data. So big data, you have to imagine it as like a tsunami of information that rolls over the landscape. And if your business knows how to work with that data, if you have people in your team that can take that data and do things that give value to you, then you're like riding that wave of big data like a surfer. And that tsunami of information that we create every day won't crush you. It'll allow you to actually be successful if you can navigate it. So to be able to understand how to really apply data in a way that if you don't know how to do it right, it can be quite disruptive. And if you're not doing it, you can get destroyed. An example would be Waze. We all know Waze. Waze is an app that allows us to kind of get from point A to point B. Waze is an example of a disruptive use of big data. Imagine all the data that goes into Waze to update it to allow you to make real-time decisions on how to get from point A to point B. And as you're going, it will update in real time and let you know if you should take alternate routes. This is a processing of massive amounts of information that Waze pushes through. And think how disruptive that is to businesses that 10, 15 years ago specialized in making road atlases or maps, or even some of the companies that kind of pioneered online GPSing like MapQuest. They've been completely out of the business now. So when you look at what's going on with big data and you can find applications for it in your business, you can be disruptive. Or if you don't find ways to use big data, you will be disrupted. It's up to you to decide which one you want to go. So basically big data is all the information that is compiled in a business, everything available to you, all the data that you have that you're able to extract insight out of, that you're able to put through a process, that you're able to make sure that you can do things that allow you to make quick decisions. And per Wikipedia, analytics is simply just the discovery of patterns in data. So all you're trying to do is look for patterns in lots and lots of data. What makes big data kind of complicated to most of us is it's more than just size. Size is one component. You actually also have to worry about the velocity of data. So not just the volume, but the velocity, how fast it's coming to you, how fast you can access it, how fast you need it. In addition, you have to figure out the value of what data is telling you. It's not just X's and O's or numbers. It's a lot more than that. And it comes through correlations, hypotheticals, and statistical analysis that allows you to really kind of like dig into the higher level math and data science of data. Now, many of you probably can't do that right now, but once you get a handle on using data in your business, using some very basic analytics, this is where you go next. This is down the road stuff. Then once you have that kind of value figured out, you also have to worry about, is your data valid? You have to worry about the veracity. And the fifth big V is variety. There is so much types of data out there, so many types. You have not just numbers that are captured in spreadsheets and databases, but you also have to worry about things like social media posts and information that comes off of different types of applications that you have to blend into your traditional data sources. So when you have all 5 of these V's worked out, then you're able to actually push data through a process, and it looks something like this. You start by inspecting your data to make sure that you have the data you need to answer a business question, to be able to mitigate a certain risk, to exploit a certain opportunity, to understand a certain trend. You identify that and expect that data. Make sure it's the right data, and then you make sure it's clean. A lot of the data we work with is not clean. We have to push it through a process that cleans the data, fixes typos, reformats things, puts it into a format we can actually use to analyze. Once you have that, then we have to transform that data. To transform that data, you put it through a process where you're actually analyzing it. A lot of us actually use Excel, which is okay to do this, but there are other tools out there besides Excel you can use to start transforming and modeling data. Modeling is when we start looking at things, making things that we can do predictions. We can build models for forecasting, things like that. Once we have that, then we're finally able to discover the patterns. And once we're able to discover patterns, then we have to make suggestions. We have to put it into practice. And we have to do things with that data that allows us to make better decisions. That's the process of analytics. Now I mentioned there are 4 types of analytics, right? There are what we call descriptive, which is what did happen. Most of us do this all the time. We're looking at past data to look for patterns and trends to understand why things happen. That gets us into diagnostic. We're trying to figure out, explaining things. Why are our sales down? Why is our customer attrition going up? Why are we having good or bad things happen in our business? That's diagnostic. And once we have that down, then we start thinking about, well, what should we do? What might happen? Well, that's predictive, right? What's likely to happen? We do some of that with trending and forecasting, but you can do a lot more when you start getting into predictive analytics and data science, higher levels of analytics that you'll get to down the road. And then finally, the top of the pyramid here is prescriptive, prescribing exactly what you should do. So you don't waste time. You make the right decision the first time, and you have all the data to back it up, and you're doing it based on all this massive big data you're pushing through your analytics process in your business. When you're doing that, that's what Waze is doing. That's being a disruptor with big data. That's where you want to be. Now real quick, I want to cover one more topic, the 3 I's and the 3 T's. The 3 I's come from a book called The Accidental Analyst by a couple of professors of McDaniels. And basically what they do is they talk about how you have to be able to identify, inventory, and integrate data in your business. In addition to being able to identify, inventory, and integrate, you have to make sure you have the right talent, the right technology, and the right techniques in place to be able to use this data. So it's a matter of trying to make sure you have the right people, the right tools, the right training. You're applying that to finding and bringing data into an organized structure, and then using that organized structured data to allow you to make good decisions that are integrated into the business flow. When you're doing that, then you get it. This is our end goal with analytics. We want to be able to make sure we're processing this data in ways that gives us a lot of value for not a lot of effort. That's our end goal. You should be able to kind of assess where you think you're at right now. You can take an assessment with us here at Sonic Analytics, and it will help you figure out if you're a level 1, a 2, a 3, 4, or 5 company or organization where your data is either not used by many people or pretty much the lifeblood of your business. And what you want to do is try to figure out, how do you level up? Once you identify how you level up, then it's a matter of actually making sure you have the right talent, techniques, and technology so you can identify, integrate, and inventory your data, and so forth. So you see how it's kind of like this process, that you have to look at all the data in your business. You have to figure out where you're at now, decide where you want to be, and look for where you have to plug some gaps, where you have to remove some hindrances. That's what we do here at Sonic. So we'll put you through this assessment. Here's a simple visualization of that assessment, trying to figure out where you're at with your ability to identify, inventory, integrate, how you feel your company's talent, techniques, and technologies are in place, and what you want to focus on first. As you do that, then you're able to move forward and level up. Now here at Sonic, we've helped over 100 companies. We've worked on 50 big data projects ourselves. We've trained over 8,000 people to do analytics. We have been in existence since 2011. So I've been doing this for quite a while. And so I have developed this process that we talked about briefly before to help you assess where you're at and figure out what you need to do to level up. So we train, we teach, and we build. That's what we do for you. Now what I want to be able to do is also look for some interns. So we're looking for internships for our program to help us grow this, so we can actually work with you. So if you have interns that you want to have learn analytics, they can be part of our program. I also have a book. The book is going to be available by mid-August, and the book will help you take what we talk about in the trainings I do and apply it as like a guide. It will be a book written for laymen for breaking down all the different concepts I talked about briefly earlier into much more detailed, this is how I go about learning how to do these things in my business. So that's all I have for today. Please feel free to find us at sonicanalytics.com or follow me on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. I'm easy to find, Dan Meyer, Sonic Analytics, and what we'll do is help you put your data to work. Thanks a lot. Now go out and analyze something.